Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a review on this Galaxy Watch made by Samsung. This version I have is going to be the 42 millimeter with the Bluetooth. The Galaxy Watch comes in two different sizes. The first one's going to be the 42 millimeter. The second one's going to be the larger one, which is going to be the 45. And it comes in two variants. The first one's going to be the Bluetooth. The second one's going to be the version with the LTE. This version I have is going to be the 42 millimeter Bluetooth, and these will come in a couple of different colors. The one I have is going to be the matted black finish. It also comes in the silver with the black bezel, and also the version that is the rose gold. This is what the watch looks like. As you can see, it hasn't changed very much from the previous version. So you still have the bezel that can be rotated. You still have the top and the bottom button. The top button is basically to go back, while the bottom button is going to be what you would use to go into the main menu. And you can rotate the bezel to select where you're wanting to access as far as the apps. And you can also just use your touch finger and touch whichever app that you're wanting to open. The back of this watch, it's got the heart rate monitor, and that also will detect features such as your sleep, your heartbeat, and blood pressure. The watch itself is actually pretty light. It is a little bit taller. So as you can look right here, it's going to sit pretty high up on the wrist. So it may be a little bit easier to get knocked against the wall or a door or anything like that. I've been using this watch for roughly a month and a half, and I have not gotten any scratches on there. The glass on the front is going to be a Gorilla Glass, while the bezel itself is supposed to be a ceramic bezel. The bands on these are going to be 20 millimeters, and they've got the quick release, so you basically will just squeeze that the little tab right there, and the strap will be able to be changed in roughly, I say, 10-15 seconds. The Galaxy Watch comes with two different bands. So it's going to be either the longer style, or you've got the shorter ones that comes with it. So for people with the smaller wrist, they'll be able to swap that out with the smaller band and still have that perfect fit. So once again, if you look at the back of this band, it's got the little tab that you'll be basically use for the quick release. You just pull that and it'll actually make these little the keepers on here kind of go in, and it was just easier to fall off or come off to change the band itself. I've never had it come off when it is on the wrist, so this quick release is not the type that will make it easier for that watch to fall off your wrist when you're using it. What comes in the box is going to be the charger. This is the standard charger with the micro USB connection, which goes into the back of the dock itself. The only difference between this dock compared to the one that came with the previous watch is that this one's got the little two nubs, and also you've got the indentation in this area, which makes it easier for the back of the watch to press against that charger. And it just sits like that. Charging takes roughly an hour and a half, and from my use with my daily use, the battery life on this watch has lasted between 2 to 2.5 days. That's with the standard everyday using the watch to pick up calls, for getting messages, sending messages back, and also with the heart rate monitoring and the other features that you've got on the watch. You can get apps on this watch such as YouTube, but watching it on this 1.2 inch screen, 1.3 inch screen is actually not that great, so I never used it for that purpose. The Samsung Galaxy Watch, it runs off the Tizen operating system. It's a proprietary operating system which is different from the other Android, the Wear line. The bad thing about it is that a lot of those apps that will work on the Android Wear will not work with the Tizen. It actually will need special Tizen uh, programmed apps to work on it. The App Store will actually be one that's made by Samsung. For the App Store, you can actually get the apps, not only just the apps, but you can actually get different watch faces that are available for it. A lot of them are free, while there are some paid faces available for this watch. The faces for this watch will work with, it doesn't really matter what size, if you have the 42 or the larger one. And also, a lot of these faces will work with the older generation of the Samsung watches. The nice thing about this watch is that it's got the built-in mic and also the built-in speakers. So you can actually use the watch to answer your phone. That way you don't have to take the phone out of the pocket and answer that way. And also, if you're wanting to do anything like texting, it actually supports the handwriting recognition. So instead of just touch typing using a small keyboard that's on the face of the watch, you can actually do kind of um, you can kind of spell out the alphabets or the numbers to get those text messages entered in there. The watch also comes with the Samsung Pay feature. So if you're wanting to use it to pay for as like a credit card like you'd use on the phone, you could do that. The screen on the Galaxy Watch does get pretty bright, but I basically have this watch on um, the lower settings, which is on the number 3. I believe the max it will go on this is going to be a 7 or a 10 setting. An interesting quirk I've noticed on this watch compared to the older model is whenever the screen comes on, you can actually put that watch up to your ear and you can actually hear the ticking of the seconds hand. And then whenever the screen turns off, you won't get that anymore. Another thing is it actually uses the gyroscope on the watch. So if you're kind of turning the watch, you'll see the shadows kind of moving on that. So on dial of the watch. All in all, this watch is very good. It actually works rather well for what it is supposed to do. Keep in mind, if you have the larger version, it's not that much bigger and you'd actually get a lot more battery life out of it. But with this one, with the 2.5 days max, I think it's actually pretty well built. It's pretty sturdy and it's got a lot of the features that you would want in a smartwatch. And another nice thing is that on this watch itself, you can actually go swimming with it. It will actually do a 50-meter water resistance and will actually detect when you're swimming or any type of physical activity that you're doing and calculate that, kind of like a fitness band would do. That is my review of the Galaxy Watch. Thank you for coming to my channel and hope to see you soon on the next review. Bye-bye.